Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I am Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet fan here, and I'm so excited to be back here to talk awesome anime with you guys. Here at the Amateur Otaku, we cover manga and anime every single week, and we love sharing our thoughts with you guys so that you guys can go discover anime on your own or start conversational conversations with us about the animes that you love or hate. And we just want to hear and start a community of awesome anime loving people. So, as usual, here with the Amateur Taku, I don't just come out here by myself. I do come with one of my great co hosts, Isaac Wolf. What is up, man?
It's going good, bud. It's going good.
Awesome.
I'm just tired as always.
And that sounds completely normal, even though it's bad. But we're excited to be back. We're
Hey,
excited to be back.
I'm alive. And then, aren't I?
I understand, and you're well fed. Um, but we are
What?
so well fed.
Okay, good. I was just.
Calm down. Um, we're not going to start it this way, okay? But we're back here, Amateur Taku, to talk about Kaiju number 8, another awesome manga that's getting an anime adaptation very soon. So we figure we jump ahead and talk about this awesome book. 2 weeks ago, we covered chapter 1. Now we're covering chapter 2. We normally like to cover 2 chapters at a time, but chapter 1 and chapter 2 were pretty big chapters in terms of length and all that happens. So we just want to dive in with no rush on the chapter. So we're just going to focus on chapter 2 on this episode, which is titled chapter 2. It's called Valkyrie, Dignified, and Invincible, and it kind of touches in on
Well,
the main character's friend, while also looking into the big cliffhanger of of the last chapter we covered, which is the fact that Kafka became a kaiju.
and he's still the goof cleaner that he previously was, even though he doesn't have
Yes,
that much of a control of his body right now.
yes. But what I find so hilarious is the fact that so so apart from the fact that the last chapter ends with the big what the hell of him out of nowhere being attacked by this thing that gets inside his body. He becomes a kaiju. He looks like this. He's the titular Kaiju number 8, which is a spoiler for the next chapter, but it's good to mention it. The reason that the book is called Kaiju number 8 is that because whenever a kaiju manifests itself, but it's not neutralized, it is given a number. And he's considered the eighth kaiju that hasn't been neutralized in the current year that the story is taking place. But I love the fact that we're seeing him freak out about this, and the fact that he's making a quick friends out of Reno, which I keep enjoying their interactions. It's just great. I love how it's like a flip on the script of mentor and like youngin. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I like the fact that it's like a mutual relationship where they both learn from each other and enjoy the company, and they're both freaked out about this by a lot.
I mean, can you blame them?
No, not at all, not at all. Now we got to be honest. We started with this panel because this directly addresses the cliffhanger of the last chapter, but that is not how the chapter starts. The chapter starts introducing um, the badass captain of defense force that we saw in the first chapter that was like destroying kaijus left and right, that came to save Reno and Kafka, um, sitting on a tiger because
Why not?
why not?
Meow.
Because okay, wow,
I
okay, I guess we're doing this.
mean,
But
the chapter is called Valkyrie, Dignified, and Invincible.
okay, doesn't say thirsty, but but what I was trying to say is that we find out that her name is Mina. We find out that she's a childhood friend of Kafka. Um, and they loved learning about kaiju's together when they were a kid. And apparently she thinks about him a lot. But not only that, they're kind of setting her up as a person to be looked at. Like she's like, I don't know if they're trying to. I love the fact that in most mangas they go out of their way of showing the most badass female characters as these rounded, sure of themselves women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Not only, but also I like the fact that they're addressing not his connection to her, but her connection to him. So she does have him constantly in his mind. And I like that. And I like the fact that she's like this. She reminds me of the major from Ghost in the Shell, like that type
Mm.
of freedom and like determination and just this strong woman. You know what I mean? I mean, again, not
I mean,
anybody is just going to live with a tiger. You know what I mean?
don't we all love some strong women?
I know that you constantly have been screaming to the winds that you would like to be stepped by your. You can say what you can say what you're thinking. You want me to step on you too?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
I don't believe you,
This is
but that's fine. But
this
that's fine.
is getting weird.
Are you sure? You started it.
I never never make it weird. What are you talking about?
Okay, so apparently a kaiju is is found in the neighborhood close to the hospital where Kavka and Reno are dealing with their kaiju situation. Another kaiju is coming up. So Mina starts Mina's reminiscing because apparently Kafka's ambition of being part of the defense force that we see in the first chapter wasn't just what he wanted to do as a dream, it's also what he promised her. Like they were supposed to be doing this together. And I like the fact that it makes the whole thing. It reminds me. I gotta say it. It reminds me about the beginnings of Roronoa journey from One Piece, where it's all like it's not just mindless ambition of becoming the greatest swordsman. It's an ambition that's linked to a personal matter. You know, because
Yes.
it has to do with the promise that he made to this character, right? And I like the fact that we're seeing we're seeing everything going on with Kafka, and every time we see her, I like the fact that we have that unspoken relationship in the background, which I can't wait to see how it plays because every time Kafka's in a panel, it plays for comedy for simple reasons, which is why I think Kafka's a great character. Um, but
And then,
I
like I said in the last episode, it's refreshing to see a shonen manga because, well, it's in shonen, published through their shonen protagonist that is, well, not a kid.
yeah, he's pretty much our age. I
Yep.
mean, I'm older than Kafka by 1 year. So it's like the guy's a 32-year-old. But I like the fact also that and it also kind of like tries to beat the stereotype of just because you have a kid that's 18, that doesn't mean like I like that Reno is not like a kid. You know what I mean? Like Reno does feel like a young adult that's mature enough to handle Kafka's dumbass. But Kafka does have these moments of where he comes off as a wise person. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
mean,
it's a
he
give and
has
take.
lived.
Yeah.
He has. I wouldn't say lived long, but he has lived longer than a kid.
Yes. Yes. Um I mean he's also kind of an idiot, but but I find that charming. But so so of course I love the fact that this particular chapter plays like An American Werewolf in London?
Don't think I've seen that movie, honestly.
So, I mean, it's bloody. So, I that's not the aspect that I'm kind of saying, but the fact that he's become this creature in the night, and that he's just wandering around the streets as the creature, and he's dealing with the fact that he's a creature. Like he's not searching for blood or whatever, but he's like discovering his abilities or discovering what's going on with his body, um, kind of losing control. And we kind of and I love the fact that every time he tries to smile, it comes off like a scary face because he
I
can't smile
mean,
when he's a kaiju.
it becomes kind of hard with that face.
Yes. I love the excessive strength. Like he can't control his strength at all. Everything he touches, he just breaks, which is which is awesome. And I also like the fact that it's not like he died, like he went through this transformation, but it's not like he died or and became something else. You know what I mean? Uh, I mean, I like the fact I know it's kind of teased towards the end, kind of. And I don't think this is a major spoiler, but I like the idea that it is a transformation that it is up to him to learn to control. So I like how it's like a power set and like a danger and all those things in between. You know what's funny?
No,
Do you think that that weird creature that got in his mouth, do you think that's like a wink to a one for all?
how do you mean?
Well, that thing was eaten by, and then he got all these powers.
I mean,
I mean,
that doesn't necessarily mean wonderful. My Hero Academia.
I know, but again, the hair, it was eaten. Like there was many ways like All Might could have got his hair blended in a smoothie. You know what I mean? But no, he just ate the hair.
And you tell me that say that I make stuff weird.
Okay, calm down. But but yeah, so he's gallivanting all through the city, and he everything's going berserk. I love that Reno is just following him everywhere, and I like the fact that not only that, I like the fact that he's like Kafka is like this bumbling idiot, and like Reno is trying to like to help him to not make things worse.
Yeah.
Now, the weirdest thing, which I found, is that apparently he can manipulate how his body looks and acts because out of nowhere he starts walking in tentacles because reasons.
Which just makes me. I know that it's random, but did you ever watch the Pokemon anime?
Very little.
Do you know the Pokemon Tentacruel?
Yes.
There is an episode that Tentacool and Tentacruels get so enormous that they can wreak havoc in the building, and well, using their tentacles to wreck it all. And just the way it was drawn, for some reason, made me think of that episode.
Yeah. Hyper. Hot. What is it? Was that ability in the new Sword and Shield? Gigamax? Is that what it's called?
Dynamax and
Yeah.
Dynamax.
Yeah.
Specific Pokemon has Dynamax, and abilities by everyone else has Dynamax.
That's the one they get very big.
Yes. Dynamax is the Pokemon that have special forms, so to speak.
Gotcha.
The latest starters, the Gen 1 starters, and then there is some other Pokemon that has it. I don't have it in the back. I don't know it in the back of my head.
Now, I do find interesting. So, are we to assume that the little thing that went inside his mouth is still alive inside him?
I don't know how I shall answer that question since I'm up to speed with the manga.
Okay. Moving along. um, Now, of course, as expected, another kaiju shows up, and can we talk about how weird these kaiju's look? Because this last kaiju, like the one in the beginning, like it looks like a person, and that is so weird. And I don't know if that's going to play into the story, um, but I do find it like crazy weird that that kaiju does look like that. Like this is kind of like,
Attack on Titan stuff.
yeah, it's very unnerving, and it's
I
creepy
mean,
too. Like look at that
I
face.
mean, I mean, that's kind of the point. If you
Yeah.
really,
But not with. But most of the times when you see kaiju's, they look like creatures. They don't look humanistic or
I
humanoid.
mean, it's scenes like this that makes you realize, oh, this is why people are calling this a spiritual successor to Attack on Titan.
They're calling this that.
Yeah, I've heard people calling this the spiritual successor to Attack on Titan. Yes.
Interesting, because the it doesn't feel like Attack on Titan. I can see the similarities or where people are seeing that type of resemblance, but this is not written as it's not as serious,
No.
you know. Um, but I can see that. I can see the why would people say that. So I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree. Now, I do want to say I like the fact that he's given an opportunity to be a hero. Like I like the fact that it's kind of like being played as a superhero story, in the sense of, not, I mean, I'm not going to say the Toxic Avenger because I've never seen it, but that's kind of what it makes me think because of how he looks. But I like the fact that he's able to automatically see an opportunity where he can save the day, and I like the fact that he's able to save this family. Why are you laughing?
I'm just reading that, reading it while we're talking, and then he punches that kaiju, and just their facial reaction for him. But what? What power?
Yeah, incredible
Mm. And
power.
but when he tries to tries to calm her down, it's just, oh, poor kid.
Yep, yep. But we do find that he's like super strong. But I like the fact that, you know what he reminds me of. Did you ever get a chance to read this? It's like an obscure sci-fi superhero comic. You ever heard of the Guyver?
Yeah, and I also seen the live action movie with
Oh, I
Mark
saw that
Hamill.
once. Yeah, with who?
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, it is Mark Hamill. Wow, it's been a lot of years. This reminds me of the Guyver a little bit because of the type of design. Because you know the Guyver,
You
like
didn't
this.
know that was like that Mark Hamill was in it.
I, that's how long ago I've seen it. I've only seen it like once, and it was like out of nowhere. But the thing with the Guyver is, you know how the Guyver, the suit is like a parasite that grows from his body, right? So, so I like the whole. It makes me think about this, like this being the Guyver, which I wonder if it was an inspiration, you know. But
Should be.
yeah, it has. I think it has a lot of that. But I like the fact that he shows his strength. He's like super strong. He takes down the kaiju. But I love the fact that when it comes to helping people, he's very Superman like. He reminds me a lot about a lot. He reminds me a lot of Superman in the way that he's like tender with people in need. You know what I mean? Like
Okay,
he's
now we need to have your cousin on board, at least for one episode or two when this
but but
anime
but
comes
does
out.
but does it make sense what I'm saying?
I think so.
Like whenever he is in the kaiju form, right? He becomes this. he embodies like it's like he always dreamt about being heroic, right? That's why he
Yeah.
wanted to join the defense force, because he wants to save lives. He wants to be useful for the country, blah 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 blah. And of course, he made the promise with Mina, with this captain. Um, but I love the fact that the kaiju powers and the kaiju body kind of like similar to Spider-Man's mask, that it just unlocks quips. With him, it kind of unlocks his heroic side, but it plays off like a superhero, like a Superman type. Um, and I like that a lot. I like that about this character because it kind of brings that dimensionality to Kafka, you know, because you can see those two sides of him. And I really enjoy that. I love I love the drawing, the art, but I also love the sincerity of the characters. I think that's what I love the most about this book, because the characters, like, they're complex because they are multi-layered, but they're also the type of characters that what you see is what you get. Like, they're not trying these are not characters trying to be something else. These characters are some of the most sincere characters you'll ever see or meet. Does that make sense?
I think so.
And I do like that quality to them, especially to Kafka, which is why I think Kafka is is one of the best main characters I've seen in a while. Like, he's great. Like, I
Yeah.
like him a lot. Like, I enjoy seeing his stupidity, but I also love seeing um his um I also see his sensibilities, and you know how he cares, how much he cares. Now, I don't know if you saw it on your end, but did you notice that this chapter has a colored page
I didn't think about that.
in the and so in the digital version, once he destroys the kaiju, which I think it's like beautiful by
Oh,
the
that one. Yes,
yeah,
that one.
you have this beautiful colored page, which is like, and of course, the sincerity of Kafka. This is definitely something I shouldn't use on a human. But I love moments and panels like this because I don't know. It's like you see him as a monster, but you see how human the human underneath the kaiju is. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I don't know. I like that dimensionality. I'm enjoying this book a lot, man. I am. I really, really am. Kaiju number 8 is actually pretty awesome. Um, what are your thoughts? Like, I know you read it first. So you read it a while back, right? Um, what did you what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts about this as you read it? Do you like Kafka? Do you prefer Reno? Do you prefer Mina because she can step on you? I mean, what are the, what are your thoughts on
I
Kafka
just
as
like
a
it.
main character?
I think you're pretty much on point when it comes to Kafka in general, and uh, and I used to enjoy the banter between them all.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, she could she's also welcome to step on me if she wants to. But
Oh my gosh. Now, what I love also about this is the kind of Beauty and the Beast moment here. That after Kafka saves them, he kind of like trying to smiles to the kid, but of course, it looks worse when he tries to smile, and like the kid is afraid. But then you have the most cutest thing where the kid goes, "Mr. Kaiju," and says thank you. That's like the most adorable thing. Like, I can't wait to see this. I feel this is the way I feel, Isaac. You know how I always say that every time I see the first two chapters of My Hero, I cry like a little,
mm,
like a little bitch, Isaac, like a little bitch. I have a feeling that when I see that little baby say thank you, Mr. Kaiju, I'm gonna cry. Like, like it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, and I love how it connects, which is, by the way, great writing, by the way. And I like how it connects to the same memory that Mina was having, and it kind of brings it to the front with him. Bring us back to the forefront to him, and I don't know. It's a great way to finish the chapter with him saying that he wants to take that exam again and become a defense officer, which it's going to be hilarious. The fact that now he wants to go back to try again to be part of the defense force. So he's trying to now become. So even though he's a kaiju or can become a kaiju, he wants to join the police that destroys kaiju, which I don't know. I think it's going to add a lot of complexity to the relationships. So I think it's super smart. It's great. It's great. And I like the fact that it's not like, so you know how Demon Slayer has the whole Nezuko thing, right? Where Nezuko is this demon character, but Tanjiro is like the one that speaks for her, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Then you have Doran Doran, where Kusanagi and Dora's relationship is what kind of opens the doors for Kusanagi, where Kusanagi is this creature in a place where it technically shouldn't be there. I like the fact that the whole thing with Kafka is that he's both. He's the guy that wants to be the officer, but at the same time, he's the target as well. So I kind of like that duality, and I want to see how Matsumoto-san finds a way to explore that as he tries to go into the off into tries to become part of the defense force, and if he gets in, how that plays into him becoming a kaiju. And I don't know. Again, I'm excited for more kaiju Superman. It's official. It's kaiju Superman, and I don't
Like
care.
I said, when the anime start, we need to have your cousin for at least some episodes.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be totally fun. I don't know, man. You got anything else on this?
Not that I can think of.
But what a great chapter. What a great book. I mean, Kaiju number 8 looks great. The art is great. The characters are great. I think the strongest thing is the characters, because again, I mean, and also the way they're exploring the whole kaiju genre. I think it's pretty innovative. I think it's great. It's great. Did I say it's great? I'm gonna say it again. It's great. I can't wait to
Yeah,
talk more about Kaiju number 8.
you
So
certainly haven't used the budget when it comes to that word yet.
wow. So guys, so that's our thoughts on chapter 2 of Kaiju number 8. We're gonna keep covering this every 2 weeks. I think next week, because the chapters are shorter, we're gonna go back to our 2 chapter schedule. As you guys know, every 2 weeks we'll do Kaiju number 8, and the week that we're not doing Kaiju number 8, we're doing Doran. So we're gonna keep covering these mangas as long as they run, as long as we can. We do other coverage like My Hero Academia. We recently did Netflix's Summit of the Gods. We're planning on doing the new Netflix movie Bubble very, very soon, with a dual release with the Shatter After podcast from the Novice Cinephile Network. We got a lot of stuff going on, so stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on that like button and click on the bell for notifications so you do not miss any coverage of the Amateur Otaku podcast on Kaiju number 8, My Hero Academia, Joran, yada, 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 and all that stuff. If you prefer to listen to our beautiful angelic voices and Isaac's on the
Are you
podcast,
talking? Are you saying that you are two? Are you saying that you are a Moon Knight in disguise with two different personalities?
yes. So, if anything, I'm Steven. Um, so, wait, I don't think. You know what? So, but if you love to listen to us in podcast form, make sure to check us out. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are found except Podbean. But we're everywhere. So check it out, check us out, and give us a follow. And if you love what we do, a 5-star review goes a long way and makes sure that a lot of other people find out of the awesome content we have for them at the Amateur Otaku Pod. So, Isaac, if people wanted to find you, where can they find you?
Well, you can find my work at entertainment, and you can find me over at Twitter at Emblemaniac.
And you can find me on Twitter at the Scarlet Fan 52. You can find me on Instagram at the Scarlet Fan 52. And you can find me on TikTok at the Scarlet Fan 52, even though I have no idea what I'm doing there. And if you want to hear our crazy banter and crazy memes and thoughts about crazy anime, check us out at Twitter at Amateur Otaku Pod. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.